because the whole thing is what people consider to be aliens are just souls that have advanced out of this three-dimensional learning. They have advanced to higher incarnations. So they aren't in this restricted world that is here presently for everyone else to experience. They're beyond that. So when people sit there and think like, oh, they're monsters, they're out to get us and stuff, there's some people who are out to get us, to control us, and do have technology. And they've been fighting with, like, there's malevolent and benevolent beings that are fighting over what's happening here. This fight's been going on for a long time. That fight with the dark, but there has to be dark and light. And you have to, inside yourself, choose which way you're going to go. And the dark has, they've had the control over this realm. But the beings that are outside of this are, more of angelic spirits. They're more about love. They're more about peace. They're there to help us with this transition. They're here to help us break free from this controlling, domineering, tyrannical situation that humans have found themselves in. So, when people sit there and think, oh, they're aliens and they're scary and they're monsters. No, they're just like us. They're just souls. They're just in different, bodies. We think like, oh, these bodies are special because on Earth, they're the ones who, can put on clothes and have conversations and be civilized. Well, to what extent? Because I don't see that completely. And something I noticed yesterday, and I said this to somebody, and, but the dogs came in. Trixie was outside, and she came in, and Stella went over, and she just sniffing her butt, and she didn't start cleaning it, but she, was very concerned about what was going on there, which I don't know. I'm not a dog, so, but to me, all of a sudden, I just like, dogs really just love each other. They just are there for each other. They create packs, they create hierarchies, they have communication. I talk about their communication all the time, and they are very intelligent. They are enslaved by us, and they are used for food by others, just like we are, same kind of thing. But for them, they don't think about like, oh, that's a boy dog, I can't love that dog because I'm a boy dog. You don't think like that. You don't think like, oh, a girl dog, oh, I better keep away from that one because I'm a girl dog. They don't think like that. And it's not just about being animals, because they don't go in and just start, doing things like humans would do, that thought that. They do things to show care and love, and, they have each other's back. Oh, man, yeah, dogs that like each other have each other's back fully. And, I think there's things that we can learn from them, because us as animals, like, we don't look at like, oh, I can love them freely. We look at it as like, oh, are we allowed to? Does that make us gay? Does that make us this? Is that, you know what I mean? There's all of this limitation and these restrictions. So we don't go out and just freely show love and, freely take love, because, there's rules that we ourselves have to follow in order to feel like a good person, or to feel like, we've got to fit in, or whatever it is inside of here that makes you do what you do. But to me, because I've heard a lot of people like, oh, my dog's gay. It's like, animals don't think on that level. Animals think on a different level. And, us being animals, we have been manipulated to think a certain way. And it's kind of fascinating, too, because we could try and force dogs to think what we wanted to think, but they wouldn't. And yeah, they do have a more limited kind of way of looking at things. That is true. I mean, I've said before, Stella I think she blames it on me when it's raining. Like, I'm God, I've got control of the weather. But they don't think about that. Just like I've said before, when a spider goes out and it's spent all day long making its web, and then something comes and knocks the spider web down in 2 seconds, and they have to start completely back over when they've worked all day to just catch some food by building this web, that, you know, they're not up there shaking their fist, God, why? Why have you forsaken me? You know, they're not doing that. They just go about their, you know, go back into it. That's been trained into us. You know, this instinctual way of living has been taken out. And it's part of what I've said about why they're trying to, you know, water us down, take the melanin out, because it has more of this spiritual soul structure, you know, the tribal instinct. They're trying to take that out of people. They don't want that. They want AI, you know, little beings. That because these people are more advanced beings. They don't want, you know, we're too much work. They just want mindless. They want little slaves. That's all they want. And that's what they're trying to do right now. Like 100%, I think that with the, let me write it down. With these people that are coming that don't have to, that's the real alien invasion is going on. And they don't have to do any of these things, while everyone who's American is has to take the death juice. Then, you know, it's Jim Jones going on. But the ones, those people, yeah, they could be more melanin in their skin, but they're also so used to having to work for nothing, you know, migrants and stuff. They are used to that kind of slave mentality where, you know, we're waking up to it and understanding this system that has enslaved us to keep us repressed and keep us hopeless and helpless and buying drugs and alcohol and sex and all the stuff, you know. But, you know, these people are, you know, they're okay with it. They just want, you know, a little bit of something, which they would take, you know. They'll go out and work 24 hours for $2. And that's what they want. But it's even going to advance further. But, you know, the whole thing is right now they're kind of in this transition because they also need parts for, there was a big old thing about this yesterday, too, of how many people are on the list. How many people are on the list. And how much, I mean, they make money off of that. So they still need some, you know, some decent, you know, parts to put to some of these other people. And they can't have this and stuff. But that they would still be, you know, used only until they were ready to turn them into, because the whole plan has always been, the whole plan is that. And we actively see them, you know, doing that. That's what they're actively doing. And one thing, too, with that gene, that person, is that was showing about and what's inside this stuff and what happens to it with frequency. It's, you know, the technology is crazy, and what's about to happen is very crazy, very scary what's about to go down. And, you know, all I can say is there's a lot of more important things to be watching than some of the stuff they have you focused on. You know, if you want to really start understanding what's going on here, start looking more into disclosure and supernatural and mystery and magic and stuff. Then you're going to start really understanding more of what is happening on this planet. Because everything else is a distraction. And, you know, it's just all to keep you in that slave place. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely planning on killing 13 out of 14 people on the planet. And, you know, those last bit, to use them for those different parts as they transform into this other state of being. And, you know, but this is the thing where, you know, so many people are so caught up in that this is so real. This is really what's happening for these souls. But when you go outside of this reality and you get in touch with you as a soul, like when I talk about, you know, stop being the avatar, start being the controller, the one who's controlling the avatar, the one who's guiding the avatar, get in touch with that one. Then you start really seeing like, oh, this stuff, it doesn't matter. This is just stuff that's happening as souls are, you know, learning and growing and stuff. These souls want to experience this. So, you know, but the whole thing is that this is your opportunity for advancement. And seeing this, when you're seeing it, is so you can understand it, so you can be clear. But yeah, don't waste time on, you know, following some of this nonsense, the education, the medical, the government, all of this stuff that is part of the extension, the tentacles. They're being cut off all over the place. The tentacles are going to shrivel up and die. The tentacles will not be able to go further. So it's a waste of time really to focus on those when you need to focus on your healing for advancement in the ascension, and you also, the awareness of how much more complex this world is than even what most people understand. So yeah, there's a lot of information. Just, you know, start looking into stuff that you thought was crazy before. You know, start just going. Gaia channel is a good channel. It has a lot of stuff. There's a lot more stuff, but use your discernment, because don't forget, there's always misleading. I just heard somebody talking about ancient aliens, which to me was great, because I knew that, you know, there was so much stuff that was we were being lied to. But somebody was saying that that is even to try and, you know, focus people in a certain direction. So use your discernment. You know, spend time in meditation. Get in touch with yourself. Get in touch with the controller, because it's really easy to get caught up in the avatar's experience. But step back and start listening to the controller, and they will give you guidance to help you so that you can release some of this stuff and be more clear on what's really going on. And when you start getting in touch with that, you start seeing like the number patterns, and, you know, you start hearing them and they start communicating with you. You'll start seeing the magic that's all around you. And, you know, that's where we're headed, to a magical place. So anyways, just keep working on you, and, you know, we'll just see where this goes. Talk to you later. Bye.